All right, back again here on the Sort of Sports Podcast, episode 152. And ladies and gentlemen, we have our matchup. The 2025 NBA Finals is going to be between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers. I am supremely excited. I really like Indiana having a good NBA team. I think it's fun for the state of Indiana. I mean, the basketball state. I think most people would say it's like very associated with basketball. I really wish the Hoosiers were better at college basketball. I think it's fun that Caitlin Clark is on the Indiana Fever. I think it's fun for Indiana to be good at basketball. And it's really cool that the Indiana Pacers are in the finals right now. Looking over the other side, we got Oklahoma City Thunder, a team that I think for a while now, over the last, I think 2023 was like the first time people were like, oh, this is going to be something even quicker than we thought. Because it's interesting, if you look back, I remember when this whole Thunder process started, and SGA started showing some signs of potentially being like a star player in about 2021. And there was a lot of chatter of like, okay, should they trade Shea? This process isn't going to be complete until like he's basically in his prime already, and it's like, is this a waste of his talent? Could they get more assets? Like they're not going to be good till like 2028 range. So should they just kind of sell him off? And no, they stayed the course. 2024 they were the number one seed. After 2023, I think what were they like? They made the playoffs, and were they a play-in team that year? No, no, I had to think about it because they had the two. No, how did that work in 2023? Let me check this while we're sitting here because this is I'm trying to remember where they were in the NBA standings in 2023. Yeah, they were a play-in team. They went 40 and 42. They were the 10 seed. And I remember I talked to a friend of mine. I'm like, is it crazy to think that the Thunder are going to be one of the best teams in 2024? I remember recording that pod, and I said to him, I was like, I'm going to put the Thunder really high up. I have a lot of faith that this is going to be a really good team. I mean, I'm scrolling back right now to see my initial prediction was. I had the Thunder as the 3 seed in the West last year. Then, of course, they ended up being the 1 seed last year. Right? Weren't they the 1 seed? Yeah, that's what I thought. I had to check, make sure, because I remember it was close between them and the Nuggets. And it's just impressive when you think about a lot of people thought this process would take a lot longer, and here they are. And we haven't had a repeat champion since 2017, 2018 with the Golden State Warriors, with pretty much the best roster ever assembled, or at least the best starting 5 ever assembled. And I think there's a real chance if Oklahoma City gets it done here that they end up going back to back. Like, I think we need to look at this. Once again, I recorded that clip. I recorded that pod, made that clip, sent it out on TikTok, and I had people commenting not liking it, and they were like, saying I was glazing Shea. But it's a true fact where if he wins the finals and he's 26 years old with an MVP, with a finals MVP, this gets scary quick. Jordan didn't win a finals till he was 27. LeBron didn't win a finals till he was 27. I'm not saying they're on that. He's going to be on their level. But I am saying it is kind of like, whoa, like this is a really impressive resume for a very young player. And I just think people are underrating how quick this would make him jump in all-time rankings and how much of a head start it would give him against his peers. I mean, you look at a lot of the guys right now that are seen as like the top of the league guys, none of them, like a lot of these younger ones, haven't really won much. Giannis has 1 ring. Jokic has 1 ring. Jason Tatum has 1 ring. And so it's like Shea, who is younger than all those guys I just named, would have his first ring, and I think the best chance to win another. And I don't, I'm not a big Shea guy, but this is just the truth. Like, this is setting him up to have a pretty bonkers career. And it's a guy that I don't think any of us thought would be at this level early on in his career. I'm sure there were some people. But it's honestly, I'm wondering if it's a Steph Curry situation, where at one time we're like, oh, this guy's pretty good. And then he ends up being one of the best players in the league and goes down as one of the best to ever do it at his position. And that's kind of what of Steph. Like, I don't think there was a lot of people in like 2013 that thought Steph Curry would end up being, LeBron's rival. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was on that level and be the first ever unanimous MVP. I don't think a lot of people saw that for Steph Curry back in 2013. And then fast forward, just 3 years later, unanimous MVP on the best record of all time, 73-9. And, already had a ring to his name. It was crazy. And so maybe Shea is one of those where it just kind of like slowly rose up, and now it's like, whoa, just, you blinked, and then there he is. He's now one of the best players in the NBA, and, he's going to have potentially a championship ring. On the other end of things, we have a Pacers team that nobody saw. I mean, even if you're a Pacers fan, I don't think you expected yourself to be in the NBA Finals. It's been an incredible playoff run with like a lot of memorable moments, like, a lot of memorable moments that I think are going to stand the test of time. And of course, the choke being the big one. And they just came into those playoffs as a team that I had losing in the first round. And now here they are with a chance to win the NBA championship. They win 4 more games, they're NBA champions. Like that's where the Pacers are at. And I don't think anyone really saw this for them, but they play a unique brand of basketball. I said before, they remind me a little bit of the 2000 Suns with Steve Nash. And maybe this is a 2004 Detroit Pistons situation where this is just a really good team. And they're going to win the finals and kind of surprise people just because they're a really well-built team. And I think the Pacers do have some of that energy. Like, could the Pacers just be this little fun thing that happened? Or are we seeing a start here with the Pacers where for the next 3-4 years they're going to kind of be like the Miami Heat of the early 2020s, where it's like, yeah, you have to watch out for them every year. Like when it comes playoff time, watch out. This team is good. Like they're well coached. Got to give credit to Rick Carlisle. They're well coached. They've got a supercomputer running the offense and Tyrese Halliburton. And, it's really setting up an interesting legacy for this Pacers team. Back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals, and I don't think they're going to be any worse next year. They might let go of Mathurin for contract purposes. Probably give Nesmith a big extension, honestly, based off how he's performed in this playoffs. But this Pacers team, I don't see them getting much worse. And so there's a chance the Pacers, in a really weak East, could consistently be near the top. So hopefully my Detroit Pistons can be up there with them. But I got to give the Pacers credit. They've built a system that I think can last. And so that's pretty cool. And I want to point out, anybody who's thinking about the finals right now, I think probably the most popular pick would be Thunder in 5. I think a gentleman's sweep makes the most sense. It's probably the most popular pick. Because this Thunder team, I feel like there's only 2 ways to beat them. And the one is you have such a good defense, because they have the best defense, right? But you have such a good defense, you can kind of go toe-to-toe with them. You have a lot of guys that can, do stuff. You got to be able to go deep. Like, I'm talking about 10, 12, well, probably not 12, but at least 10 men deep. Like, that's what you got to do to beat this Thunder team. The other way to beat them is to have Nikola Jokic. And the Pacers do not have him. So the Pacers are going to have to use their depth and play the best defense they've ever played. And they've had a really good defense this whole playoffs. It's a really, really fun matchup in this finals. And that's how the Pacers are going to have to get it done. But I'm pumped. I think this is a really fun finals for people who like watching basketball. I do. I think this reminds me a lot of the 2021 finals, where people are like, really? Bucks, Suns? And I'm like, this is awesome. This is a Suns team that was supremely entertaining against Giannis, who at the time was clearly the first or second best player in the NBA, on a Bucks team that had Chris Middleton performing really well at that time. Drew Holiday was still doing Drew Holiday stuff. Brook Lopez was at that point in his, like, that kind of fun little like mini peak he had late in his career where he was able to shoot the 3 and stuff. It was a really fun Bucks team. That was when Bobby Portis was going off as the 6th man. It was a really, really fun squad, and that was a really fun finals for people that enjoy watching basketball. And I think it's so odd. Like, you don't see this in the NFL where people are like, oh, that's not a marquee enough matchup. Like, this isn't pro wrestling. Like, the best team wins. It's not like it has to be it's not like you book, oh, well, it has to be one of the big stars, one of our main eventers. Like, this isn't. I love WWE. I love pro wrestling, but the NBA is not pro wrestling. It's the best team wins. At least, based off the draft lottery results, maybe it is pro wrestling. But as far as we know, these are not pre-booked. So I don't understand like people being so negative and being like, well, we'll have to see the ratings on this one. I'm like, why don't... These are like 2 of the most fun teams to watch. If you said, what is your ideal finals from a watchability perspective, right? I think the Knicks, I really like that Knicks team. I think Knicks Thunder would have been really fun. I think Knicks Timberwolves would have been really fun. I think Pacers Thunder is also fun. The only one I would have been interested in is Pacers Timberwolves. I think the teams they had left were all really interesting. And I think this Pacers team has really grown on me to be a team I think is really fun to watch. And I think they're going to match up against the Thunder well. And I know people dislike this Thunder team. And I think they get under people's skin because they kind of just feel like an AAU team. It's like a bunch of guys who just like hanging out. And I think that's what people like about them, right? Is that they seem like they hang out with each other, they know each other well, they're very young. Feels like a big AAU team. But I think that's also what people dislike about them. I think that annoys people, and they don't really enjoy it that much, and they find it just, annoying, essentially. And Chet Holmgren always gets made fun of for being corny. So I get people dislike this OKC team, and I think people are afraid of having, like, we've had some really fun parody in the NBA. And if you're somebody that complains about parody, I don't understand, because, just 8 years ago, everybody was saying how we hated how the NBA was being dominated by two teams. So, like, what? I see posts that are like, this was the best era of basketball. I'm like, you're talking about the era where nothing mattered in the regular season because we knew it was going to be Cavs Warriors in the finals? Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it then. That was like, there was no, but the reason I think people like that era is because there is no era of the NBA you're going to be more nostalgic for than the one when you were in junior high. I think that's the truth. When you're in junior high, that's like the peak of like your nostalgia for the NBA. Because you look back and be like, oh, I remember those were the days, that was the era, those were the guys. It's like, no, it's just because you were in junior high. That's my thought. But I think we're in a really good spot. But what I will say, and this is what I wonder. When I was younger, me and all my friends would talk about, we'd be hanging out, we'd be talking about James Harden, we'd be talking about Steph Curry, we'd be talking about LeBron, Kyrie, those guys. Russell Westbrook, right? Those are the guys I looked up to. I had a Russell Westbrook wallpaper for a long time there on my phone. Who are those guys for the kids now? Like, are there kids right now that are really into Tyrese Halliburton? I hope so. I'm sure there are kids that are really into SGA. I'm sure of it. But I saw a thing and I was like, oh, this is the first time the NBA Finals will have two teams, the first time since, maybe it was first time ever, I don't remember. But it said it was like first time, I think it was like since like 2008 or something, that the two teams in the finals didn't play on Christmas Day. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And I'm thinking, why didn't the Thunder play on Christmas Day? They were the 1 seed last year. Everyone knew this was going to be one of the best teams going into the season. What were you doing, NBA? And this is the issue I think the NBA has, especially as of late. And I think it's always been this way, I guess I should state. Not every market is created equally, right? We know this is the truth, but the NFL does a really good job of, if the Kansas City Chiefs are good, it doesn't matter if they're in Kansas City. They're the best team. So we're going to market them, right? They're the best team. In the NBA, the Thunder are the best team. They don't feel like the biggest deal. They don't. The Cavs and the Thunder were the two best teams in the NBA this year. They both won 60-plus games. They were not talked about as much as the Los Angeles Lakers. And I get the Dallas Cowboys get a lot of coverage, but the Chiefs get more coverage than Dallas Cowboys, even though they're in Kansas City. And so I think that's a big difference the NBA needs to work on, and I really have high hopes for the NBA on NBC next year. And all the stuff they're going to do with Amazon, that they're going to have much stronger coverage and focus more on the teams and their legacies instead of being so caught up in big markets and stars. Because we can market the stars, but let's market the stars because of the teams they're on. I have a lot of thoughts about, I might be able to cut a whole pod on literally just how I would cover the NBA differently than the way ESPN has been doing it. And I just think it needs to be changed. And it would benefit the league, and not just in ratings, but just in like the fun it is to watch it. I don't know a lot of adults that watch the NBA. I just don't. Not personally. Online, you see them, yes, but like me personally, in the Midwest, people watch football and baseball. Not a lot of NBA watchers. They love March Madness. Not a lot of professional basketball watchers, and maybe that's just how it is. Maybe there's no changing that. But I do wonder, are there kids nowadays who really like Tyrese Halliburton? I hope so. Right? Talking about Pascal Siakam at the crib with the boys. Talking about Pascal Siakam. Is that going on? I don't know. But I'm just stoked for this finals. I think this is like a super fun matchup, and I think these two teams going against each other. I hope it goes more than 5 games. I really do. I think the Pacers can compete with them. And I kind of come to the decision that the only team left in the playoffs out of the 4 in the conference finals that could compete with the Thunder, well, I guess out of the 3 other than the Thunder, you know what I mean. I think that we're the Pacers. I think they play so uniquely. They don't really have like one guy the Thunder can focus up on. Like you could just randomly have Nesmith have a great game. Thomas Bryant had a great game. Everybody was talking shit on Thomas Bryant. He played well. It was interesting. I was looking at the Pacers roster the other day because I know Tony Bradley went down, and I was looking to see who their other reserves were, and I'm like, there's so many guys in this team I like. Because I think Jarris Walker's really good. Like, I think he's like a really quality player. Like, not like all-star, you know what I mean? I just think he's good. Like, I like him. TJ McConnell, I really like. We already said Neesmith. But Neesmith's going to be a bigger name just because of that game he had, game one. I mean, that was an incredible performance. I've loved Obi Toppin for a long time. I mean, I wanted the Cavs to take him with the 5th pick back in 2020, which I was wrong. I do have to state. I was wrong. But, I mean, granted, they took Isaac Okoro, who's not, like, Obi Toppin is better than Isaac Okoro. But Obi Toppin's been quality for them. I like Thomas Bryant. There's a lot of guys on this team. I like Shepard. Like, he's good, too. Like, a lot of guys here that, I mean, I really like Mathurin. Big fan of him. Yeah, this is just a really fun team. Like, Miles Turner's good. Pascal's always been fun. Pascal's got such a fun career. If he can win a finals here with Indiana, that's such a fun career. He's on 2 of the most fun finals teams the last 10 years. It's just sweet. And we got to talk about Rick Carlisle, because I do think there's something interesting here. I'm going to take you back to 2011. Derrick Rose wins the MVP, kicking off millions of edits that would happen and millions of jokes about ACLs that would haunt him the rest of his career. Granted, he didn't know that at the time. But the big piece of 2011 was that it was the first year of LeBron James joining Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh in Miami, forming the Heatles, as they were referred to. The Big Three in Miami was a huge deal and was immediately the favorite to win the finals, especially after they did their famous not 1, not 2, not 3 speech when they are announced together as teammates. And, of course, super hyped up team. And Dirk Nowitzki went on an incredible run to the 2011 NBA Finals and beat them in 6 games. It was a Heat team that everyone thought when the finals would kick off a new dynasty, and they ran into a team that was well coached, had a really high quality best player in Dirk Nowitzki, and were coached by Rick Carlisle, who is currently the coach of the Indiana Pacers, who are facing not a team that was built like a super team where guys met up, but a team that is considered to be, if we're going to get a dynasty within the next few years, it's going to be OKC. And it seems to be like they're the obvious favorites. And Halliburton doesn't play like Nowitzki, I must say. But there are some similarities. Can Rick Carlisle play spoiler once again to a blossoming dynasty? We'll see. I do think it's interesting, though. It's very interesting. Before we get into my prediction for the finals, let's do a quick piece on where did New York and Minnesota go from here. 2 teams that obviously made a big trade last fall. It was like October when that trade happened. I do got to say, I love, and I mean love, the see you again, the commercial with Dante DiVincenzo staring at Bridges, Brunson, and Hart. That's a really fun commercial. Whoever thought of that was bravo. That was an awesome commercial. I think it's funny every time. It's way better than last year when we had the What a Girl Wants, What a Girl Needs Chet Shea one. That one. I mean the one with them with the I was gonna wear this outfit with Jalen Williams. It's fine. But the Knicks commercial, that's great. I'm sad we don't get the Superman one anymore because Jason Tatum got hurt, and so. But I get it. I get why they pulled it. I'm just saying, you guys know I want as much promotion as possible for Superman. And honestly, it's not even because I drafted it for the box office movie draft. It's not even because of that. You guys know I'm stoked for that movie. I've never been more excited for a movie in my life. So very, very pumped for that. But I think for Minnesota, I don't really know how you get better. Like, you're probably not going to move off Randall. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really know what you do with the Randall piece. Because he did play well those first 2 rounds. And then you met Oklahoma City, and he didn't play well anymore. I guess you bring him back. I mean, Gobert, I think they're in for Gobert. Like, I think they understand. They've accepted they're a part of the Gobert not experiment, but they're a part of the Gobert experience, okay? Like they've accepted that that is now something they do. You know, they are in the Rudy Gobert business, and so I'm assuming they're just going to keep rolling with Rudy Gobert. And I guess I don't really know they're going to make much moves. Like they probably just kind of run it back. But I think if I'm Minnesota, I'm looking for I need somebody who can score consistently with the ball in their hands, other than Anthony Edwards. Or maybe just somebody who's a better playmaker. Like, I like Mike Conley, but he is going to get worse every year for them. He's getting older every year. Can we have another playmaker? Like, can we get somebody to make some plays for us? I think that's what I'm looking for if I'm Minnesota. I don't know who that could be. Like, if they could get, like, I don't even know. Like, I was going to say, like, Alex Caruso, but it's not like he's an elite playmaker. But in the same sense, I think every team would like to have Alex Caruso. So, then there's that. Could they get Rajon Rondo, like, circa 2020? Can they just grab him out of the time machine, throw him on this team? Because that would be great for them. But I don't really know if they can make much changes. For New York, of course, everybody wants to make another big move. You know, saw people talking about moving Josh Hart. And, like, I hate to say it, guys, but I think New York could probably just run in the bag. I mean, I'm willing to bet everyone views it as, all right, this was year one of this team. We made a conference finals run. That's farther than we got last year. Let's run it back. See if we can make the finals next year in an Eastern Conference that looks about the same. Like you're looking at, are the Cavs going to get better or worse? Do they take this punch in the mouth and run it back and win 60-plus games again? Or are they going to be like, oh, no, we're not as good as we thought and fall apart? Are the Pistons going to take another big leap? I mean, it's impossible for us Pistons to triple our win total again. So, are the Pistons going to be better? Pacers are going to be probably the same way, borderline no differences. Bucks, you have to assume, are going to be worse with or without Giannis. So, like, in the East, you probably feel pretty comfortable, unless, like, the Hawks take a big leap. And the Celtics now are going to have Tatum probably gone the whole season. So if you're the Knicks, like, you probably just run it back, right? Like, I don't think you make a big move. I think there's an argument you could say, can we get Giannis? Can we move Karl-Anthony Towns and something else and get Giannis? I think that's probably the only move if you're the Knicks. And I get, like, Karl-Anthony Towns has actually played really well and he's been a great addition, but it's Giannis. Like, you kind of got to go for it, right? Like, it's Giannis. Come on. So, I think that's probably really the only move I see for New York is if you could somehow get Giannis Antetokounmpo. But if not, I don't really know what you're doing other than that. I mean, I hate to not be that interesting, but, like, I don't really see what the moves are past those two. I did want to touch on, so Shea won Conference Finals MVP. No surprise there. That was good. Pascal wins Eastern Conference Finals MVP. I don't think he was undeserving, but if the Pacers lose in the finals, which I'm willing to bet most people are projecting, it's going to kind of be like, Tyrese Halliburton didn't get the Conference Finals MVP. And it's like, you're going to look back at this run, and I think Pascal was definitely the second best player. Not in every game. I mean, there's some games, Aaron Nesmith, really just game one of that. But I'm saying, like, Aaron Nesmith, great. Probably the best player in game one. But Pascal was consistently the second best player, and I get that. But you're going to look back and you'll be like, it's a little weird Halliburton didn't get Conference Finals MVP, isn't it? Like, probably should have given it to him. I just think it's one of those in hindsight you'll regret if the Pacers don't win the finals, which I think some of you are starting to figure out as I keep talking. I've kind of talked myself into believing the Pacers might just be a team of destiny, might be getting it done and winning the Larry O'Brien this year, but we'll see. Let's talk about something that I think is supremely important, and that is Game 1. I think Game 1 of this finals kind of decides the whole thing. And I understand you could say that pretty much about every playoff series ever. I get that, but I think this one is truly super important. Because the Thunder take Game 1. It's at home in Oklahoma City. Pacers have to win Game 2. But they most likely go back to Indiana. Most likely go back to Indianapolis with it 2-0 Thunder. And then it's a must-win Game 3. Then you're down 2-1. You got to fight back in Game 4 to make it 2-2. Realistically, if you lose Game 1, you're probably going out in 5. because you're probably going to split with them in Indianapolis, and if you lose game 1 in Oklahoma City, you're probably going to lose game 2 also. Whereas if you walk in game 1 in OKC, punch them in the mouth, catch them off guard, escape with a win, Oklahoma City wins the next one, and then as long as you just split with them at home, you're going back to Oklahoma City game 5 with the series tied up 2-2. It's a massive difference. Massive difference. Because in the one scenario, we're going to Indianapolis in game 3, down 0-2. In the other scenario in Indianapolis, hey, we're back home. We won the first game, lost the second. They got their get back. But hey, we're here in Indianapolis. Let's just get one. We don't have to win both games here. Let's get one. And then we go back to Oklahoma City, series tied 2-2. If I'm the Pacers, that's my mindset. And I understand everybody's trying to win the first game. I get that. This isn't a revolutionary take. But I'm stating, I think this first game, if the Pacers can win it, we have ourselves a series. If the Thunder win the first game, it's probably going to be done in 5. If the Pacers can win in game 1, we have ourselves a series. I do think the Pacers are going to win in game 1, and I believe that the Indiana Pacers will win this finals. I think they're a team of destiny. I think it will go 7, and I think they will thug it out and get the win at the end. And I think it's going to be a really entertaining finals. And I'm pretty pumped. Like, I think it's going to be really fun. I don't understand why people aren't that excited about this. This is awesome. We haven't had a 7-game finals since 2016. I think we're due, and I think this one could deliver. But it all just depends on game 1, because if they lose game 1, they're probably losing in 5. But if they can get that upset in Oklahoma City, I think the Indiana Pacers go and win the NBA Finals. And I just think they just feel special. They feel like a team of destiny, like I've talked. I feel like they might be the new Heat culture team, but the Heat culture can never get it done in the finals. They made it there twice, never got it done. Can Indianapolis get it done? I think so. I think the thing is, Oklahoma City's really good at shutting down your best guy. They can't do that with Indianapolis. Because even if you shut down Halliburton, if he can still play make some, they can still get a victory. If Halliburton is one of those games, like he had in Game 4, where he was basically perfect from the field, had that ridiculous triple-double with no turnovers, whoa. If he can just do that one game, it'd be awesome. I think we're going to have some really close finishes here. I just think, there's 2 arguments here. Are the Thunder a vulnerable team, and the Nuggets expose that? Or the Thunder unbeatable, and the only reason the Nuggets can even slightly get it done is because Jokic is the best player in the NBA, and Aaron Gordon had a great playoffs. We're going to find out. And we'll probably know by game 1. If game 1 isn't close and the Thunder win, that's it. But if the Pacers win that first game, they just have to hang around. Nobody wants to be with this Pacers team in crunch time. Nobody. And I think this Pacers team believes they can win, and I like that. Am I mostly making this prediction because it's what I want to see? Yes. But I have Pacers in 7. I am stoked and very excited for the NBA Finals. I think it's going to be an awesome Finals. Like, really awesome. So I'm pumped. Obviously, Finals MVP would end up being Halliburton. But this is going to be awesome. So I'm pumped. I will talk to you all again soon. Finals start Thursday. So make sure you're tuning in. All right, that is it from me. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you all in the next one.